All right, now we are going to take a look at student information. Student information in Tyler SIS was essentially in two places for teachers. It was either student fields or student details. In Infinite Campus, things are organized a little bit better, I think, and that is it's all under student information. We can see here we've got athletics details, attendance, behavior, enrollments, forms, grades, and so forth. But before you can really use this feature, we have to actually find a student first, and then these fields become active. For instance, if I were to go into this particular field, attendance, and try to enter attendance, it's going to say a student is needed to use this tool. So we, like SIS, we have to pick the student first, and then all of this becomes functional. To do this, we need to go up to the magnifying glass located up here in the top left-hand corner and search for a student. Now, because this is a demonstration course, I don't actually know the names of any of the students, so I just went ahead and did a blank search. I just left this blank and then clicked on the magnifying glass, and you can see the fictitious students that they have available. I'm going to take a look at Justin Abag. Okay, once I do that, a lot of detail is going to start popping up in all of these fields. Now, just remember, none of this data is real. So if I go up here now and click on athletics, the athletics field's populated no longer says it needs a student. Now, they don't have any fictitious data in here, but this could be potentially a place for maybe our activities office to list whether students have physicals on file for sports. If we go over here and we take a look at attendance, this gives us an entire look, really holistically, of how a student's attendance looks, whether they've been absent, they've had early releases and tardies, and I suppose we probably could put in some additional fields that work a little bit more for our school. But I can even click on period detail, and I can even pick, maybe I want to look at just 1 or 2 grading periods, which is really pretty nice if you're trying to take a look at a tardy count or an absence count. They make it a lot easier to go through and do those searches. So I can say, yeah, let me see the attendance for just this period. I can say what I'm looking for. Portrait landscape just says how the document's going to look. What format do you want it in, and press generate. And you may or may not see it in the video because it will pop up another window, but it will give you a nice, neat report where everything is tabulated for any student. And you can do that as a fast way now to get an idea as to what the tardy count maybe is for a student if you need to do a referral. Okay, moving on. We'll go over here to behavior. Behavior is going to give us the ability to see what incidences have been submitted for this student. Now, this is subject to how the Webster Groves School District wants to make this data available. So I just want to show you how the demo side of this site works. But I can go in here and see that there has been something submitted on this particular student. And if I click on it, I can go through and see whatever detail that administrator submitted about that student. And so you get a whole view here of what has happened over the course of time and whether or not there was a resolution. We can print the calendar and all the years, so get a full report for a student if we want to. So I do like that reports are built into some of these views. If we go over to enrollments, this is going to let us look at their enrollment history, similar to a transcript without grades submitted with it. So we can see where they were registered prior to this year and including this year. We go over to forms, and forms is going to give us the ability to go through and put together a custom report. So I believe this may not be active in here. But we'll talk more about this when we get more detail on it. But this, I believe, is supposed to be a place for you to go through and put together your own form to collect data. Again, more to come on that. Let's move on to grades. And as I wait for grades to load here, we get a very nice, clean-looking view and the ability to also make a report from this view for a particular student. So they don't really have any data for this particular student here. They've got this put into quarters, so we would see ours into periods, but you would see the progress and the term grades and semester grades. All that's going to show up for every single one of their courses as grades are posted. So that's really pretty cool. Nice, easy way to see that. And we can even change just the terms here if we wanted to isolate one over another, and we can see how everything is going. So you can see the name of the course, and then we can see the name of the staff member after each one. So really nice, neat, and easy to view. We've got down here at the bottom right, there is a report button right here where we could choose to generate a report if it is set up for us here at our school district. All right, moving on, graduation. So graduation shows us expected graduation date and whether or not a diploma was issued. This might have more value or more day-to-day use for our school registrar or for our counseling department, but this would show a full record of when a student graduated. Moving on, we've got a place here for locker assignments. So many of us sometimes get requests for locker combinations, or especially during senior checkout. Even if they didn't use their locker, they have to show it was cleaned out, right? So this will let us know their locker number and what the combination is. And there's even a field now that says location, so we can say where that locker is located in the building. All right, profile. Again, we move on a little bit more. This is going to give us really the student details on the student. So we've got what is their address and the student email address. This is going to give us a nice large place to see what their GPA currently is and whether or not they are on and off track to graduate. Gives us a listing of their schedule. So this is really a large, nice, clean view to see information about a student in the current term. We can even go through and change the years if we want to, whether we want to look at their absences and tardies, all of that we can do right here. And it will go through and show those dates where maybe an absence was recorded, or if I switch over to tardies, it may show where a tardy was recorded. So just a quick way to get information about a student. As we move on over to the student's schedule, there we go. And this is showing, in this case, again, they're still using the quarter system. We'll switch ours to a period system, but you can see what classes they should be taking on any individual day. So an A, B, C day would show up here along the top, and then we can see what class they have each period. So that's really nice, especially for a program like ours where sometimes the periods, they change between A, B, and C, and seeing when the start and stop times are for those courses, new students will be able to see that right on the report. We can switch over to calendar view, and calendar view just lets us see this week by week, month by month. So this is going to be a great place for students to go through and see their schedule if they're not sure what is coming up. All right. Standards portfolio, as I mentioned in the first video, I don't know if there's any intention to use this at our school, but it is a place for students to go through and to list some data. Excuse me, let me correct that. The standards portfolio is a location where we can see what curriculum standards a student has shown proficiency in. Again, not sure if we're using that or not. Moving on down to summary. Summary is similar in SS, where we could go through and see these students' fields and see who are their legal guardians and how do we contact their legal guardians. You can see phone numbers, large and easy to see which student, which adult is their emergency contact and what the priority level is. So that's all there. If we click on a student, an adult, we're going to get their cell phone, their work number, their household number. That is all going to show up in a little flyout tab. Moving on down, we can see any additional households or any other emergency contacts that they have connected to them in the system. So that is an easy way to find out parent information. Again, I do like it's all in one nice, neat place over here to see all of this. And lastly, in the student information section, we have transportation. And this is going to potentially, I guess, show what bus they ride. Yeah, you can see it there when the start and stop times are for the bus, something that probably is more used on a regular basis at the elementary level. Okay, so to get out of this location to switch students, we can always go back up to the magnifying glass and switch student names, or if we're finished looking at student details, we can just go up here and click on the main menu and switch to whatever else we want to see. All right, that is a brief overview of how to get information about a particular student.